story, it's over. Washington Square Park. My pleasure.
Welcome back, art heads. It's time for another half-assed production, and we're here in the heart of the East Village. We're going to run into the Dorian Gray Gallery and see an exhibition by Richard Hambleton. Richard Hambleton's New York. Stephen Hines. Well, I'm just going to do a little walkthrough here. Richard Hambleton was one of the artists that kind of came into the East Village scene, I guess, back in the early 80s and made quite a name for himself. Now, I believe that Richard is actually from Canada. He did a very good job of garnering a lot of attention with his series of what was called the Shadow Men. Well, we'll do a kind of a cursory walkthrough of the show. Black and yellow shadow head, Liquitex on paper, frame 34 by 25 inches. Well, this is kind of Copperhead, just sort of came on the scene with a kind of a performance guerrilla artwork where he would leave chalk outlines of bodies in front of galleries and stuff, sort of like you would see in a crime scene. It's an untitled beautiful painting series, copper metallic background with oil. And this is untitled. Then he started his series of Shadow Men. This is interesting. This is titled I Only Have Eyes for You, which is a life-size, maybe even bigger than life-size, standing portrait of Richard. And I don't know what the edition number on that. That is 16 grand. Well, within a very short period of time, Richard became known as one of the more prominent East Village artists. Richard kind of emerged about the same time as people like Keith Haring, Kenny Scharf, and Mark Kastabi, Rick Prohl, and there was a lot of competition between them. Black and white landscape 1 and 2. Actually, it's almost a nice Chinese calligraphy, Chinese landscape quality to some of these. Well, then there was also kind of a second phase of the East Village, which became much more involved with the kind of neo-conceptualism, academic painting, and people like Jeff Koons and Meyer Weissman, Peter Haley kind of grabbed all the attention. This is more like the old shadow figures. This is full-length jumping figure. Anyway, Richard was running around painting these things all over the East Village, and at the time the East Village was a pretty bombed out ghetto, rat hole, and yeah, you'd be walking along and seeing one of his figures and not know whether that was somebody actually hiding in a doorway or not. I always had a problem with the work because I never really thought that it was a great painting, although I've reassessed it and kind of appreciated his gestures of painting. It's titled Untitled Beautiful Painting. This is 1999. And there were rumors Richard kind of dropped out of the scene, and these are more untitled beautiful paintings. Like I said, some of these actually have kind of a almost an Asian quality about them. This is 1992. And I know that sometime within about the last 3 or 4 years that there was an Italian fashion designer kind of became intrigued with Richard's story and sponsored a couple of exhibitions. This is Untitled Silver Leaf and Orange Varnish on glass with painted frame. There was also a lot of gossip about substance abuse, and I think at some point Richard even got hit by a car on his bicycle. This is a title. This is a Basquiat tribute. Acrylic and gold paint on board. And it's 1999. This is already about 15 years after the heyday of the East Village. And Shadow Cat. Teal and copper head. You know, as a work on paper, this is not bad. And I think that there were aspects of his kind of splashy performance gestural style that I think kind of relates to what some other artists are doing these days. Anyway, then Shadows and Blood, Richard Hambleton's New York. We're at the Dorian Gray Gallery on East 9th Street in the East Village. So our continuing coverage of the reevaluation of the East Village. Thank you, Kate. Whoa, thanks, City of the Sun.